So this is what we got with our first shipment here. I didn't realize it was going to come in multiple packages, this order, but I should have obviously thought, looking at the size of that box, there's no way the leaf springs are going to fit in there. So in this case, we received the blocks for the back, and then our U-bolts, nuts and washers to go with them. And then we also received our rough country shocks. So don't know much about them, don't know if they're any good, but we got 4 of those. And then we also have it's like a steering link or something off these trucks to make sure the linkage is all lined up, I'm pretty sure. But I checked my other packages. They said the others are supposed to be coming in, so once we get all the parts, we will officially be ready to start this project and get this lift on here. That way we can drive this truck around without it rubbing like crazy. All the parts finally came in for the Cheyenne. We got what I already showed you, our shocks, our 4-inch leaf springs finally came in, and we are starting to tear stuff apart. Like I said, the reason for doing this earlier is we're rubbing with the setup we ended up putting on here, the ones that were off my 21 Silverado. So it seems pretty simple. The kit came with 4 new shocks. We're gonna have to zip off these leaf springs. So you have to take off that, take off this, 4 bolts here, have some U-bolts there that hold it on. And then on the other side, there's just this different steering arm to put on to give it a better angle. And that's pretty much it. It looks like a super easy kit to put on, and it's gonna get this truck where it doesn't rub. So that's our goal. We'll try to keep you guys updated as we keep going with it. How's things coming?
Well, I've got that nut off, but trying to get it to break free from that knuckle might be a spleen splitter. Which if we go ahead and take these off, then it might make our life a little easier.
Try hitting it right here without hitting the rubber part. So it's a bit of a booger to get off there, but they have these weird looking cone shaped washer type things that fit down these studs and into those holes. So you just got to work those out nice and slow, figure out a way to get a hold of them, and then get ready to put your new one on. So a few more beatings, that thing came apart. We got the steering arm out of there. Everything's loose. Now we got to probably hit it again so this arm can slide up and off of where it's held on here by those nuts. So a little more hammer work's about to come on. We got all those babies loose. It's fun to do with one hand. There, she's coming. Sorry for the shaky video, but that's what you get. So clean that up real good. You have a new one with a different angle. Just slap right back on there to get your steering arm in a proper angle. So that's what we're gonna do. This is struggle real.
Oh!
Only 2 more to go. Much better. So that was pretty self-explanatory. Take it off, put it back on the exact same way. Ultimately, you're just getting a different angle on that arm. As we said, we haven't put these new leaf springs in yet, which will push this all down, making that come back to level, which is what you're after, and that's why they send it with you. But you do have to reuse your own bolts doing it. You're supposed to go back through and torque check everything to make sure you're safe, and we're gonna get those things taken care of and get the leaves thrown on. T, you wanna explain where we're at so far? Let them know? Okay. Well, I'll break it down for them then. What we got is, as I said, looking in here, took off the U-bolts that hold the leaf springs to the axle. And I know for a lot of you guys, this is super crazy beginner stuff. And it is pretty simple so far, very easy. I'm enjoying taking it apart. Everything's coming apart fairly easy. As we said, we have the nuts off each side of the leaf springs. Cole's loosening up the other side. Once he does, we will lift the body of the truck up, leaving the axle sitting where it's at, and take these springs out and put the other ones in with the new U-bolts. We got new shocks to throw on there, and we'll slap it back together. It's gonna be that easy, we hope. So let's keep on going. Oh yeah. Well, we've currently run into our first situation. See, the exhaust comes down. The bolt that's in here, it can't come out that side because it runs into the exhaust. But we're gonna take off the top of this bracket, drop shackle, whatever this is, and let it fall down. That way we can get that out and keep going and not have to cut it off and have to go find other stuff and leave this thing tore apart. So let's try to get this thing finished. What do you say?
Yeah.
Give her the beans, man.
Oh yeah. I can see it. Oh yeah, that's it.
More. Get it.
Ooh.
Break something?
No, it just slides in, but tries to go up in between the bolt.
This is not the fun part of the project.
I think this is...
So, we got the leaf all the way out. And this is the new one. You can obviously tell she got a lot more bow to it. It's supposed to be only a 4-inch kit, but a lot of people say it lifts some 6. I should have took a measurement before, I didn't, but obviously it's way more bent than the stock one that was on there. So we're going to see how we can get this back in here. We don't have a lift. We're gonna have to really get creative on how to get this truck high enough. And also, I spilled my Dr. Pepper, so it's very upsetting, but we'll be okay. Why'd you say that?
Oh, it's Tristan.
Oh, okay. Why did you say that? We'll get down to it later. Anyways, that's where we're at. Well, this is where we're currently at. How's it been going, Brett?
Minor issues, not gonna lie. But
What's the good news?
good news is the leaf spring on that left side is done. Bad news is we haven't even started on this one. Well, we've started, but we got that one to go in. Shocks aren't in yet. Takes a lot of jacking up,
Up and down and
up, down.
axle to frame ratios, spreading it apart so we can get stuff together. But this is what it looks like with that other leaf spring in there. This new arm on there. Like he said, our shocks aren't hooked up. But yeah, I'd say the hardest thing is that we don't have a lift or anything. So we have this nifty setup. You can't buy that anywhere. That's just custom. And that's what we had to have to get the truck high enough to drop the axle down and your brake line gets super, super almost stretched out. I mean, likely you guys are gonna say, why didn't you just put extensions on it? Because we didn't, but we might later if it needs it. But for now, that's what we got. And coming back over here, axle on the ground, no leaf in there. We need to slap a leaf in. And then we're gonna do some Cali lean roller shots with this thing because we're gonna be tired of putting lift kits on, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm sure you're tired of me talking, so we're gonna get back to it. Okay, some things went as planned, but probably more things didn't. Not that it was huge stuff with this lift we put on the Cheyenne here. If you come take a look, you'll see this top plate that's there on the spring. It used to attach to a sway bar to the frame. We ended up pulling that off. We're gonna see what it's like. A lot of people say it's gonna give the truck quite a bit more sway, but for what we did, it was easier to do it this way for now. what other problems did we have? The U-bolts that were originally there, obviously we had to get longer threaded U-bolts because the stock ones wouldn't fit because of the added leafs in that spring. We put the new shocks on. We had to, if you come back here, we had to undo our drive shaft, and I didn't know what we were gonna have to do here, but obviously we're gonna have to get some type of extension there since we lifted it. So we'll probably just pull that off for now until I can get one made. Obviously a trip like this, it's not like I'm gonna go four-wheeling it, so it'll be fine for a while. But we're gonna pull it off the jacks, back it out, and like I said, we haven't touched the back yet, so we'll definitely be rolling with some Cali lean for a while. We'll get some rollers of it and see what you guys think. So this is what we got. This is what you can expect if you buy the 4-inch rough country lift kit for whatever style trucks these are. This is a 74 square body. I'm not super familiar with them on running all the years, but it's pretty generic for all of these because basically it's just these leaf springs in the front. And we left factory brake lines. They are a little tighter than I want them to be, but they can still turn both ways all the way and not have an issue. It comes with those rough country shocks. Had to get different U-bolts like we said earlier, but this is about what we're looking at on how much it is raised compared to the rear, because the rear is still stock. They're sitting, what, about 11.5 inches right there from the top of the tire to the bottom of the fender. Then we come back here and we're sitting at about 5.5. So we got basically, instead of 4 inches of lift, we gained 6 inches of lift. And got some pretty sweet Cali lean going on here. Obviously, we have the blocks to put in the back. We wanted to get some rollers like this. Some people really dig this look. This is a lot, way too much for me for it to look good. I mean, if it was, I don't know, if it was split the difference halfway, it would probably look a little bit better. But we have our blocks to put in the back, 4-inch blocks. I don't know if we'll just do 4-inch blocks and take out the stock ones that are in there, or if we will stack it on top. You can see that stock block in there. They're like, I don't know, stock's like 1.5 inches or something like that. And then putting in the new U-bolts and new shocks back here as well. So that'll be coming. We'll have some different rollers in this video. So we're looking forward to see what it ends up looking like.